Trump and Carney meeting at the White House and having their little talkie talk.
We won a very big election in Canada, and I think I was probably the greatest thing that happened to him, but I can't take full credit.
Why is he so catty? Trump is the cattiest gay man we've ever had as a president.
But I just want to congratulate you, and ran a really great race. I watched the debate. I thought you were excellent, and I think we have a lot of things in common.
Yeah, that's interesting. Notice how the word tariffs hasn't been said yet.
Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight. They say they will not be blowing up ships anymore. And that's what the purpose of what we were doing. So that's just...
No, it wasn't. You were fucking... I like how... I mean, Trump does have, like, a disconnect. I think he blacked out for the 4 years Biden was in office, so he probably forgot that we airstriked the shit out of them. I think he just crashed out that entire 4 years, and he just doesn't really remember they happened. Now, that's why he says all good me, all Biden bad. He was crashing out the whole time, and all he can associate 2020 through 2024 is bad. All we need to do is we need them to just stop building weapons, and we need them to just go entirely defenseless. Then if they choose that they want to go entirely defenseless, which is all they have to do, we will say that we'll just let somebody else airstrike you, and we won't do it. Probably Israel.
I think before then we're going to have a very, very big announcement to make. Like, as big as it gets, and I won't tell you on what. But
oh, that's terrifying. What?
For your hospitality and above all for your leadership. You're a transformational president, focus on the economy with a relentless focus on the American worker.
But every Carney worker is, or every Carney voter is regretting so hard right now. Trump has so much Riz. Trump has an ungodly amount of Riz. People will be like, fuck Trump. I hate Trump. Trump's a bitch. And then they'll go and meet Trump, and then they'll come back and be like, Trump is a great leader.
Securing your borders, ending the scourge of fentanyl.
See, this is why I get really angry when people confuse the liberals with leftists, because they think that me and this guy are on the same level, and it's kind of wild.
yeah, please. Concession?
Yes.
Friendship. No, we're going to be friends with Canada. Regardless.
Oh, he went, oh, he didn't know. He didn't know. We're going to be friends with Canada. You can't say that and put tariffs on them. You're in a trade war with them. You can't say that you want to be friends with them, meanwhile enact in a trade war with Canada. What a flip, by the way, from Canada's ripping us off. We need to annex Canada and make it a state. What a flip. What a flip. No, actually, they're our best friend. We love Canada.
I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one. You happen to have a very, very good...
Jordan Peterson.
Mr. President, you have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
No, well, I still believe that, but...
We still have Republicans who are like, he's joking, guys. He wasn't being serious. Is he smiling?
And it's also a beautiful, as a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country.
If it's a state, there's still going to be a artificially drawn line, because it would be entering another state.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace, that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity in the partnership and what we...
I mean, he definitely didn't, go hard or anything, but he was stern about it, so... I don't know. I give credit way too easily, if you can't tell.
Us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be
Which, and they have.
And they have, he said, and they have given their part in NATO. Very unlike what you said, 3 minutes ago. Not really 3 minutes ago, you know what I'm saying, a while ago. We're the only ones who pay our part. They're all ripping us off.
Canada is stepping up the military.
They're stepping up now. Okay. We all paid our parts? Yeah, for sure. It's the issue of America is the richest country on the planet. If America gives the most to NATO, it's because they have that. It's the same thing with trade deficit. We always complain about the trade deficit. They're ripping us off because of the trade deficit. Most of them don't even know what that means, and they think that trade deficit is inherently a bad thing. If we have a trade deficit with Zimbabwe, is A, Zimbabwe ripping us off, or is B, it impossible for Zimbabwe to buy as much stuff from us as we buy from them? It's B. But Trump is, his whole life, he's been a guy where it's like, I need to rip other people off. I need to get the most out of a deal. Now he's reached the point where he's one of the most powerful people in the world, could argue the most powerful, and he's trying to go up from here.
What would it take to get the tariffs off of Canada?
Well, we'll be talking about different things. Like, we want to
That is the thing that everybody cares about.
protect our automobile business, and so does Mark.
Automobile business is different. If you want to put tariffs on specifically the automobile industry, that's different than all across the board tariffs. I would be fine with tariffs on the automobile industry.
When you consider what Mr. Carney just said, that Canada is not for sale, does this make the discussion a little more difficult to start on?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, time will tell. It's only time. But I say, never say never. I've had many things that were not doable, and they ended up being doable.
Why would they sell Canada unless they're in the worst position imaginable? Some things in this world are actually worth more than money. Most of the time, that's not true when it comes to politics, but in this situation, actually, yes, because no matter how much they sold Canada for, they would be losing power in the process. So, land is actually more important in this case.
Secretary Bessent said that there have been no negotiations yet for China. You have said something different.
They want to meet.
They don't want to meet. They don't. You're not winning the tariff war with China because they have an actual base. Like, they have an actual... If they said only buy Chinese, they go, oh, okay, we can do that. Because of the economic system we live in. Allows for that. In America, if you say only buy American, which a lot of people say, you're not going to. You're just not gonna do that. It's too easy and too cheap to buy stuff made in China. We're not winning this war. I mean, not to mention, we have so much more here made in China than China has made in America.
And by not trading, we're losing nothing. So we're saving $1 trillion. It's a lot.
That's like if you could make a movie that costs $10,000. It costs $10,000 to make the movie, and you make $1 million on the movie. But you go back in time and not make the movie, and you're like, well, we're saving $10,000 by not making this movie. This is really the smart decision.
We looked at numbers this morning. So we were losing, the United States during Biden was losing more than, I won't even give you numbers because they're so embarrassing, but billions.
Just because they're so embarrassing, that's why I'm not giving you the numbers. Because I have respect for Biden? Okay, sure.
You know who they were? Illegal immigrants. Okay, from prisons, from mental institutions, from all sorts.
Again, this is something I've debunked so many times, it's getting exhausting, and it's just, I don't even have to anymore. I don't have to say that literally no one was coming in from mental institutions. This is just a mentally deranged man, and they were coming in on asylum, and he thought they were coming from mental asylums. And that also there is no evidence at all whatsoever that they were dumping prisoners from prisons into America. There's just no evidence at all whatsoever for that. And that's just something he made up entirely with no backing, and people believe it because they like to be angry at something. I don't have to do all of this, but I am for some reason.
They were coming in and they were criminals and murderers. 11,888 people that murdered.
People, 880, what?
And at least half of them murdered more than one person.
What? Where did you... That's so specific, but wrong. What is that, in the history of, like, forever or something? What? There was not 888... In 2024, there was a total of 25 murders at the hands of illegal immigrants, which is obviously, even per capita, even percentage-wise, far less than legal citizens. So, where is 888? Did I miss something? Like, where did he get that? Did he just make it up? And then Biden is so stupid that he hears this, and he's like, I know what to do. I'm gonna go hard on immigrants as well. That's what he did when he heard Trump's awful Hitlerian rhetoric against immigrants. Is he's like, I should also go hard against immigrants. And then maybe people will like me. No! You want to look good for the camera? Who, Biden? Biden's never going to look good for the camera. You should give up at this point. Even if you don't know politics, even if you don't know about Israel, even if you don't know Biden was a bootlicker for Israel, if you have eyes, you can see that he's not all there and should not be in office. He's mentally gone. Also, how loud is the video? It's not loud at all. Guys, you guys need to tell me when the video is
And we'll,
not
at
loud.
some point, we're going to put down some numbers, and we're going to say our country is open for business. And they're going to come in, and they're going to pay for the privilege of being able to shop in the United States of America. It's very simple. It's very simple.
This man is delusional. So he's saying that people have to pay... They have to pay for the privilege to trade with us because we don't need them, they need us. Doesn't this sound like abuser type shit? I'm going to turn the playback speed up.
A store that has the goods. You're going to come and you're going to pay a price, and we're going to give you a very good price. We're going to make very good deals. And in some cases...
That is how it already worked. It already worked it already was that they pay a decent price for goods. What you are saying is they should pay a stupid price for goods because we're the elite store. You're saying we should be like Walmart, but in reality you're saying we should be like Sam's Club. Like, no, this is stupid. What are you talking about? They pay us money and we give them goods at reasonable prices. How unfair.
Everything we have is really top notch.
I don't care,
I
man.
rebuilt our military during our last term. Stupidly, we gave some away to Afghanistan, which shouldn't have happened. But that was I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. It was just a very incompetent.
Most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And I don't want people like, he's not taking, he doesn't know his U.S. history, which is valid, but also his father was in the KKK, so I think he knows what was going on. This is the most well-designed, nice cuck chair I've ever seen in my life. I'm just realizing that my face is right in front of Trump's face here. Just so you guys know, you are allowed to point these things out. I mean, you're the ones watching. If it doesn't bother you, that's fine, but maybe you just don't want to look at Trump's face, which I could understand, but you could always tell me these things.
Yeah, these people have massive amounts of cash. The CHIPS Act was a ridiculous thing because that doesn't get them to build. All we did is hand very wealthy companies money. The CHIPS Act that was done by Biden.
AI plants are so, like, terrible for the environment. Even if you are not, like, a woke, green party, green new scam, even if you're, like, a Republican who hates the environment. It's so bad for the environment, you would be behind it. Because people who live near these plants, their water pressure is extremely low. The pipes are completely rusted out.
If you didn't go with the DEI, if you didn't go with all of the different things woke, if you weren't woke, you couldn't even use the money. You had to have a certain percentage of this and that and that and that. It's impossible. Impossible to have. The people,
What?
the companies actually complained to me. They said they get...
Is Trump saying that woke people like to manage money and manage finances, and that gets on his... Does he have a savings account by chance? I imagine he does. Supposed to be good with money and everything. What? I mean, no, he probably just pays an accountant. If you go woke, you have to, like, do different things, different percentages of the money, you know, you have to do certain things, you know, give certain things to certain other things, like... I don't get it. I don't understand it.
President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well,
I'm sure that's exactly what he said, Donald. I keep forgetting that like anytime you watch anything with Trump in it, it's gonna turn into a rally.
Just got them a lot of water. If they would have had that water, and if they would have done what I said to do, they wouldn't have had the fires in Los Angeles. Those fires would have been put out very quickly. But if
Yeah, I'm sure. Just like you said, there would be no wars if you were president. There's not going to be any wars when you're president, and a war just started yesterday. So I'm sure there would be. What is fucking wrong with you? I wonder if he genuinely is delusional and believes this, or if he is just trying to suck up to himself.
and I think we have a baseline of 10% or something like that for the tariffs. But
He doesn't even
we're
know.
we're getting along very
He's
well.
fucking over
right
there
now,
no, you're
we're
not.
going no further. But we
You
have,
said you listened to the debate, right?
Tariffing Canada, is there anything he could say to you in the course of your meetings with him today that would get you to lift tariffs on Canada?
no,
Why not?
just the way it is.
Just the way it is, guys. Just how it is.
And this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions. And
But you're
that's-
not having the discussions. You talked about random shit all day. You didn't mention the tariffs until now o'clock. And there's 3 minutes left.
Trudeau, when I spoke to him, I used to call him Governor Trudeau. I think that probably didn't help his election. But when I spoke to him, I said, "So why are we taking?"
Yeah,
your
I'm
cars?
sure
Why-"
you really hurt the Canadian primary election by calling him Governor Trudeau. Everyone in Canada was like, what does Donald Trump think?
Why are we taking your? We want to make them ourselves. I mean, I said, and if the price of your cars went up, or if we put a tariff on your cars of 25%, what would that mean to you? He said that would mean the end of Canada. He actually said that to me, and I said, that's a strange answer, but I understand his answer. But no, I mean, it's hard.
Then why are
to
you doing
justify
it? And also, did he?